Let's talk about progressing the ATG split squat. The ATG split squat has four main features. First, we've got front knee closure, which is basically the degree to which you close down this space all the way to fully closed. The next one is back leg extension. So I can go down and get that closure, but if I've got a bent back leg, I want to increasingly get that as long as it will possibly go. Next, we've got the overall depth of the movement itself. So you can see right now I'm elevated on a box versus if I were to go to the ground and do the movement here. And then the last is going to be any outside load that I apply. The first order of business is basically getting full knee closure. So ignore my back leg for a moment. I am going to get as much depth in my knee as possible. I want to be able to, if I were to put my hand here, pinch my hamstring down to my own calf. If I don't quite have this and I'm here, that's fine, but this is going to be the first priority of what we're working towards. This deep knee bend is critical to knee health. If you've already got this, the goal is to never lose it. Unless you have knee pain here, the path to progression is essentially continuing to just push and lever down and close it down slowly but surely. We'll talk about that a little more in just a second. The next part of this is pushing back with the back leg. So back to my original example of I've got full knee bend, but my knee is bent like crazy. Well, if I take this down to the ground, now all of a sudden it's completely untenable because I basically just run into the ground. Okay? So I want to ensure that I have as much length in that back leg as possible and trying to maintain tension there. Best way I like to think about doing this is squeezing the glute and maintaining that on the way down and trying to retain that. It's going to bend a little bit, better than going down, it bending, and then trying to reclaim it from the bottom. Next, let's talk about obtaining our depth. So as we continue to go down, 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 closer to the ground, the movement becomes harder. So if we go back to the beginning and I've got full knee bend, chances are that I'm going to be able to retain that full knee bend. And if I've got good extension in my back leg, this might not be too problematic. I can just find my way down to the ground. But what ends up happening a lot of times when people have a mobility, they have trouble getting out of it. So that would be a lack of strength use case. In which case, I basically start high, I maintain that full knee bend the whole way down, and I slowly but surely, incrementally find my way down, maintain that full knee bend the whole time. That would be if I've got the good mobility, but not the strength to get out of it. If I lack the range, which is typically a little more common in men, and I can't quite get any deeper, well, that's where I can add some load, even if I'm not already on the ground. So now I am artificially 30 pounds heavier, and this is gonna help me settle, get past and stretch out that tissue and come back out. So the goal would be to eventually use this 15, 20, maybe even 30 pounds and slowly pull my tissues down to that base and simultaneously work it down. So once I'm here, I probably wouldn't want to add it to more outside load. I'd want to take whatever load I can down deeper. Depending on how strong and tight you are, it's going to depend on how much load you need to press yourself forward. Again, to recap these key features: full knee bend, then straight in the back leg, then work it down to the ground, and at some point adding some outside load. Feel free to send me a video if you'd like some feedback on your form.